Here's Brody Brazil.
I want to bring you back to the past for just a second for something that might help us better understand the present. Specifically, what Howard Terminal can learn from Chase Center. Two totally different venues, two totally different timelines. I mean, it seems like Chase Center was designed and approved and built in the blink of an eye, and the Warriors have already played there several years. They've already won a title in San Francisco. Meanwhile, the A's and the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda, they're diligently working through the process for a ballpark just north of Jack London Square. But yeah, it's taking its time. There's a lot of steps and hurdles, and yes, it's frustrating. But there was something potentially in the way of Chase Center that seems and sounds very familiar to what some people would criticize Howard Terminal for. I'll get to that here as I first explain this. The UCSF Medical Center at Mission Bay. It opened on February 1st, 2015, so several years ahead of Chase Center. But it's a state-of-the-art, 6-story, 289-bed children's, women's, and cancer hospital complex. The hospital complex includes the only children's hospital with emergency services in San Francisco and has a rooftop helipad for the transport of critically ill children and at-risk mothers. It provides specialty cancer care to about 5,000 adult patients a year and expects to deliver 2,600 babies in its first year of operation. Why am I telling you about this? Because it is literally, well, diagonally across the street from Chase Center. Do they call that kitty corner? Is that appropriate and approximate here? So yeah, Chase Center arrowed in green there, the red arrow pointing at UCSF Medical Center at Mission Bay. You would understand why the only hospital to treat children in emergency situations in San Francisco, why you'd want to assure that there's always access to that. And again, this is literally right across the street. Now, the Giant Stadium opened up as Pac Bell Park in about 2000, so many years ahead of this hospital. The Giant Stadium was there first, then this hospital was built about a mile south, but obviously putting a 20,000-seat venue right next to this was cause for concern. Now that's not at all exactly like the situation in Oakland, where there's a port right next to Howard Terminal, apples and oranges, so to speak. But again, I just want to show you here how something can be designed and successfully implemented in a neighborhood where there is concern. And I mean, speaking of the concern, there was a lot of this. November 23rd, 2015, this article in the San Francisco Examiner, the headline says, "Arena will be a nightmare for child patients." I'll just read a little bit here. As the mothers of children who receive treatment for severe congenital heart defects at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital, we were dismayed to read Quentin Kopp's misguided and factually inaccurate op-ed supporting construction of a new arena for the Golden State Warriors less than 1,000 feet from the hospital's emergency entrance. Kopp states that the arena would be constructed, quote, without taxpayer financing, end quote. But in fact, according to the city's budget and legislative analyst, the arena traffic management plan would create a $29.9 million shortfall that city taxpayers would have to fund, most likely through bonds. In exchange for this large upfront investment of city money, the arena is projected to only contribute $1.5 million per year to the city in net tax revenues. Really? That doesn't seem like much. But anyway, you can see the criticisms right out of the gate. That was 2015. Here's June 29th, 2015. From our friends at NBC Bay Area, UCSF nurses protest at new Warriors Arena site over traffic concerns. Nurses protested Monday over a proposed Warriors Arena that they say will have, quote, disastrous impacts though basketball team representatives say there is no proven impact to emergency services and that other cities have similar situations with no problem. So you can see here, there were a lot of people objecting. And we quickly forget about all this because Chase Center now exists. And as I'll kind of detail in a second, have you heard any problems of these sorts? I'm not here to say traffic is perfect around Chase Center, but has the hospital repeatedly given any warnings of impacts that it's been as it was feared to be? How about this article? A group files a lawsuit over the Warriors' new arena proximity to the hospital. A community group has filed a lawsuit in effort to block the Golden State Warriors' new arena in downtown San Francisco. The problem, the Mission Bay Alliance says, is the proposed facility's proximity to a children's hospital. Quote, some people will die trying to get to the hospital if this stadium is built next to the emergency room, end quote. The suit against the commission, city, and county of San Francisco states. The arena would stand 1,000 feet from the UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital. The concerns regard traffic and pedestrian flow while events are taking place. Groundbreaking was scheduled to take place this year with the intention of having the Warriors play in the building for the 2018-19 season. The team already abandoned plans for that previous arena on San Francisco's Pier 32 after a groundswell of local opposition. The Warriors have played across the bay in Oakland since 1972. Well, going back to that Mission Bay Alliance, and tell me if this sounds familiar, an alliance, a group of people that was trying to put together a poll that they said shows opposition growing for a Warriors arena in Mission Bay. Well, here we are years later. And again, I think this is the takeaway almost above everything else, what Howard Terminal can learn from Chase Center. Yeah, there is concern, there is opposition, there is fear, there is a lot of things being said, but like Chase Center has now existed for several years and was full of fans for like the last couple weeks and months. And I get all the concerns. I mean, going back to 2015 and 16, and I remember all those articles and stories and protests. I remember all that stuff. And okay, back then there was some concern. Has there been any since? Is it a problem? Am I not aware of something? I mean, it may not be perfect. Let's also clarify that. I can't tell you, I'm not in that traffic at that building going in and out of games all the time. I'm not trying to get to the hospital, UCSF all the time in Mission Bay. I'm not. But I would think if they had large-scale issues, they would be letting people hear about it. And that doesn't seem to be the case. All of this was planned, it was detailed, and now it's being executed to plan. So what's the whole point of this? How do I tie it back into Howard Terminal? Yeah, I understand there's a lot of people talking about the project and what could go wrong and what could get in the way. But I mean, the same thing happened at Chase Center. And now here we are only like 5 years later. And basically, it's all been forgotten.